So the situation on the world stage is pretty insane, and so is the rhetoric. And leading the way is Vox with this article, quote, "Meet the Canadian doctor who prescribes money to low-income patients." Yeah, let me read that again. Meet the doctor who prescribes money to low-income patients, gives money out as a prescription to help people, a new form of socialism, government intervention that I believe automatically I am against. But Vox, of course, is kind of promoting this idea, and there are some interesting points to entertain here, which, of course, we will. But this all pretty much comes from a kind of TEDx talk with this doctor who's coming out and talking about some of his ways and means of helping people and seeing them live in poverty and linking that poverty to, of course, health problems. Well, of course, there's an obvious link. The solution here is something that I would definitely disagree with. Jason, should we just play some of the clips here? What else is there to kind of introduce here?
Well, before we get to the clip of this guy, I do want to say that I am sympathetic to the fact that he talks about there is no correlation between the visual appearance of a person that comes to his office and their income. And he often finds it insightful to find out what their income bracket is. Where he starts to lose me, Luke, is as a medical professional, he says that by I've never had my patients...
Play the clip. Let's just play the clip because it's about 4 minutes in. Let him speak for himself because this is really the big point that I saw here. I was like, oh, come on.
Now, I did everything I was supposed to do for the Wandas and Teresas that I saw. I prescribed them the right drugs, I ordered the right tests, I referred them to the right specialists. I told them to eat better, to exercise more, to seek counseling for their mental health. But despite all this, they just weren't getting better. In fact, they were as debilitated, as stressed, as unhealthy, pretty much as the day I met them.
Let me stop it there for just a second. So you didn't do your job. I mean, I'm not saying that you're a miracle worker, bro, but if every single one of those people are saying that you're admitting we're the same after visiting you, I mean, maybe 1 out of 10 should have done better. Let's keep going.
Yeah, maybe the problem is big pharma. As you just said, I did everything I was supposed to do. I did everything I was told. I gave him all the medicine. You ever thought maybe the medical industry is corrupted, which we have documented time and time and time again on this channel, corrupted with drugs being put out there to get people addicted, to get people hooked, to deal with people's symptoms and create worse symptoms for other drugs to come in there to help the pharma industrial complex. You ever wondered maybe that's one of the key components there? Now, the other stuff he talked about, I agree. Exercising, talking to people about your mental health, eating right is important. But you could tell that to a lot of people. Doesn't mean they're going to listen. But that's another aspect here that I wish people would focus more on instead of I gave them all the pills that I was supposed to give them. Yeah, a lot of the pills are overprescribed many times. And that's not even a conspiracy theory. That's understood by many people in the medical professional. The overprescription of medicine is an issue that the medical industry does have to deal with. But again, that's one of the bigger points that I kind of wanted to contend. The other stuff, it's coming from this kind of bleeding heart liberal kind of belief and ideas. And I am kind of sympathetic to where he is coming from. And I think it is important to kind of talk about this because this leads into a larger discussion of this being another form of universal basic income. This doctor also specifically makes sure that he connects his patients with welfare, with disability support. He makes sure that they fill out their tax reforms so they could get the government benefits. He's pretty much helping people get on the government teat. One issue of contention here, he's also prescribing. Jason, I'm going to let you explain the prescribing $250 with this organization stuff in just a little bit. But what he's mainly doing, he wants people on the government teat. But specifically in instances like here in New York, me and Jason both know the government quote assistance is bullcrap. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help you. And it's again, just overall a bigger scam to get you on the government teeth, get you dependent on government. And of course, government, I don't trust them to take care of the potholes. I don't trust them in this bigger role in our lives that people are asking them to have, which I think is something to worry about and something troublesome. But he also gives Jason $250, prescribes them to individual patients.
Yeah, it's through an organization called OCAP, and essentially they found the poorest rung of society. They came to him, and I'm going to let him play it for a moment. And then he decided who he would give an additional $250 a month to. Here's the problem. The vast majority, if not all of these people, were on the maximum amount of public assistance given in the region. He's in Toronto. He throws out a number saying that they have to work for everything they get, housing, food, you name it, is $600. I just can't imagine that being correct. Rent in Toronto anywhere is going to be more than $600 a month. So right there, I don't think he's incorporating the fact that housing is taken care of. When he talks about welfare, I'm not sure what their food stamp or benefit card program is. But when he starts talking about how he's never seen the faces of these people so happy, well, no crap. I mean, poor people.
You just gave him $250.
Yeah, I mean, poor people enjoy money just like the rest of us. So yeah, if you're seeing people on a week by week, month by month basis, and their condition financially isn't improving, chances are they're not going to mentally improve. They're still going to be upset. You hand them 250 beans, and it smiles. It's a bless you, sir. Bless you, sir.
I'm healed. Hallelujah. I'm healed. I'm feeling so much better. Wow. Who would have thought?
So let's play this clip.
Makes me happy.
Yeah, let's play this clip. I'm talking about, I believe, prescribing the money.
Of Wanda's and Teresa's health issues, except for the most important one, their poverty. And so I realized that we needed to bring poverty out of the periphery and right to the center of what we do as doctors. And so I decided to start to treat poverty not as a social or a moral issue, but as a disease, to be diagnosed and treated like any other.
Let's stop. I'm sorry, dude. It is a social and moral issue. It is not a disease. When we start now talking about poverty as a disease, this is not the debate for drug addiction or alcoholism. Your body cannot physically begin to depend on poverty. Okay? If you look at drugs and alcohol, yes, there's an argument to be made there. Your body can physically become dependent on those substances. It cannot become physically dependent on poverty. So prescribing it like a disease to me is insanity. It is this next step in a push for a universal basic income, which essentially says, hey, all you poor people, guess what? We're going to keep you poor, but we're going to act like we're giving you more money. The cost of everything is going to go up. Inflation will happen. You'll feel less good about yourself because, hey, you don't really have a purpose, but we're not worried about those things. It's a great idea to give people $1,000 a month, like Yang says, Luke. And this doctor, to me, is really not looking at the larger issue. It's the high cost of healthcare, and it's putting pharmaceuticals in the hand of big business to bend you over the barrel for the highest profit possible.
Yeah, and they're the ones making money hand over fist here, and we're the ones being like, we're giving you more medicine. Why aren't they doing it? Come on now. Let's really question this. Look at the cycle that's happening here. Obviously, he's calling for more government. More government means more control, more taxes, more restrictions, more regulations, more fines, more tickets. Look what's happening amongst these more liberal states here in the United States. Look what's happening in New York City. Look what's happening in Los Angeles. It's a cycle that is disastrous. Many times we covered the mass exodus that is happening here. Why? Because it's becoming too expensive to live. Why? Let's look at the ramifications. Taxes. Absorbently high. Why? To pay for a lot of the social services, which don't do enough, don't help enough people, and actually lead to a restriction of people wanting and willing to be able to do something for themselves. Second, we need more regulations. We need more government control. It's impossible for people to start businesses here without paying and adhering to all these stupid, idiotic regulations where a government agent comes in, extorts more money for you, gets more licenses from you, takes away your rights, and buys it back to you for a fee. And then people are, like, I had a friend here. She was trying to do a little party. Like the number of extortion rackets that the city has here, the number of permits, the number of licenses that the city has here, it's insane. And unless you're already loaded and have a huge amount of assets, you're not able to host a party here and sell tickets at the door here. Police officers will come and shut it down, or you could hire local police officers, pay them off, pay them thousands of dollars, and then their police buddy sees them and they're like, Yeah. Don't worry about the permits and regulations. I'm a cop, or was a former cop, getting paid a couple $1,000s here. Fellow cop, yeah, it's everything's fine here. Cops walks away. This is what happens here. With more government. This is why New York City is a bankrupt city. New York State is a bankrupt state because of this stupid idea with people calling for more government, calling for more universal basic income, more involvement, which I believe will be tragic. I mean, we saw that with socialism. My family seen that. My family warns me about it every time because I grew up in a time and era where that kind of socialism ideas were ending, and my family still sees it as one of the biggest dangers facing that could resurface, that would eviscerate personal freedom, personal liberty, personal responsibility for ourselves as an individual, which is a direct correlation to prosperity. So again, what this doctor's doing is something that he genuinely believes in, genuinely thinks he's helping people, but in my opinion, would lead to a more detrimental situation in our society. Again, other people will see it differently, but that's okay. You could disagree with us in the comment section below. We love to hear the discussion. We love to be part of the discussion and larger conversation that we could learn from. Jason, what do you think?
Well, man, like I said, I don't like more government. I don't like the fact we're trying to fix a problem by just giving poor people a little bit of a nugget of nothing. That's all it is. We're talking about a universal basic income. Those don't speak to the core issues, whether or not this doctor realizes it. Although poverty is a bad issue, I think that the cost of healthcare is over the top, not only in the United States, but yes, Canada is also extremely expensive. You look at what it costs in South America. You look at how much is taken care of in Europe. It's unbelievable. You look at the price of medications and how big pharma again has controlled an industry that should be much more regulated. This is what the government should be doing, is regulating these medications so that they're not putting people in homeless shelters and bankrupting them. That's the real issue. That's the core cause. And things like prescribing money and giving out UBIs are only going to hurt humanity, in my opinion. They will not help them. They will give us less self-worth, less drive to learn new skills, and put us in more of a docile, comatose slave state than ever before, in my opinion. That being said, we're doing 4 videos a day across 2 separate platforms, Pulse Change and We Are Change. Make sure you're subscribed to both. Ring those bells for notifications. Share this stuff on social media, on Reddit, on Vote, on any platform you got, and get out there and be the change you want to see in the world.